Hi, I'm Bill Doherty. I'm your host for Hands On Harwich, and today we're interviewing Dennis Hoye, who is the Director of Golf at Cranberry Valley, perhaps the best municipal course on Cape Cod and probably in all of eastern Massachusetts.
We like to think so anyway.
Well, anybody that lives here does,
Yep.
like we do. Dennis, tell us a little bit about what the Director of Golf does, and then tell us a little bit about the course and how you
Sure.
who plays on it.
As Director of Golf, I basically oversee the entire budget for the golf course, both the maintenance and the operational side. I do run the pro shop, and I'm also head of golf instruction as well. So I basically tied into pretty much every portion of that. We have a fine superintendent, Sean Fernandez, who works here under me, and we've been together about 15 years now. I actually went to high school at Harwich High School years ago.
Yes,
The old Harwich High School, which is falling down now. But
I remember I've been a sub for at least that long, and I remember him over there. And of course, I knew his mother real well. She was on the housing authority with me.
Yep. And so that's the dynamic. We also have a volunteer board, the Harwich Golf Committee, which goes over the policies and the operational portions of the golf course. And we meet with them once a month, and then we obviously report to the town administrator. Right now we're reporting to the new assistant town administrator, which has been nice. The new people in the town have been a nice breath of fresh air, so it's been good.
No, let's see. Yeah, that's right. We just hired that fellow Clark for the administrator, and then yeah, I guess we did hire somebody as an assistant.
Yep.
I don't know if I met him. Anyway, in any case,
Yep.
The way it's supposed to work on span of control is that you don't want the guy that's responsible for the whole thing to do it. You want to spread that out.
Yeah, because it's a lot of people to report to them. So yeah, I think it's wise the way that they're going about it now.
And I think that means that you get a better level of responsiveness, which means for somebody that's doing a job, you don't want to wait around, for somebody to decide when he's going to deal with it,
Right.
Because problems are usually immediate. Talk a little bit about what I see all this grass. I think water. I think I think fertilizer. I think I see the specter of the green communities coming down and descending on you.
Well, actually, it's not that bad for us. Golf courses, truthfully, are much more regulated than homeowners are. If you go to any lawn probably adjacent to the golf course, you're going to find that their fertilizer usage is far more than ours is. And recently we started to get into a more greener thing. We were joined Audubon International.
Did you?
And we're getting certified, and we just went through our first level of certification for that. So we've been trying for many years to change the way that we operate as a golf course to try to make ourselves more green in the community and do things that are safer and better overall. And by getting into that, you can't be into that group without being under certain guidelines. So we just got recognized with that about 2 weeks ago.
That's wonderful. And of course, the other thing is, speaking as a taxpayer here in town, is that being green actually means you use less fertilizer, you use less pesticides and herbicides. What you're doing is you're using discrete amounts, and they're being managed very carefully.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to get to, a point where the golf course gets, basically you have to train the grass like you train a person to take certain things to make it work and make it stronger. And for us, with the amount of traffic that we get, we're really trying to work on just making it overall healthier and try to find different grasses that are maybe more durable.
Now, I've heard something about Bermuda grass. Is that what you use?
We don't. We use, well, most of the grass that we have is Poana, which is a grass all over the Cape, very prominent in coastal areas. But we also been trying to put a perennial ryegrass into our fairways, because in the summertime, when it gets warm with the amount of traffic, the other type of grass tends to get pretty wilted out because it can't take the stress of it. But this grass has been much more hardy, and last couple of years it's paid off.
Well, I know that the ryegrass responds really quickly, because during one of our more recent storms, some of my lawn got torn up, and I threw some ryegrass in there, and it just greens right up. It's really wonderful.
Yeah,
it's not very durable.
Right, and for us, that's what it's about. Make sure we can get something that can take the traffic from the golf carts, etc., out there and hold up during the summertime.
Talk a little bit about the traffic that you get.
The traffic, usually in a season, we do approximately 46,000 rounds of golf a year.
46,000.
Yep, and that's jammed into pretty much like an 8-month span. July and August obviously are our busiest 2 months. And,
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, we're surrounded by people that are waiting to go off.
Yeah, today's a good example. We were booked, first tee time was at 6 a.m. and we're booked a foursome every 8 minutes till about 5:30 tonight.
A foursome every 8 minutes.
From 6
Boy.
a.m. till 5:30 tonight.
Almost like going into Logan.
It's busy, yeah. That's why it's this time of year it's hard to get out for the next few weeks, and then when September hits, then it's weekend busy, and then the weekdays are great. So the people that are members here get a much greater opportunity in the fall.
Yeah. Now, you talk about members, and I presume that in this day of political correctness, that women and men are equal as far as membership.
Oh yeah. We actually have a very active female membership here, and we have always prided ourselves on trying to make sure that not one that they're treated fairly, but also that we don't look at it any differently.
All right, talk a little bit about what does it take to be a member?
Basically, you have to. The only thing you need to do to get a membership at the golf course is be a resident of the town. That's one of the forms that you can join with, and it's $770 a year for unlimited golf. And all you pay after that is if you were to rent a cart or hit range balls.
What does it cost to rent a cart?
Cart's $18 for a member for 18 holes, so it's $1 a hole.
$1 a hole.
Yep, and half that for 9.
So they don't get as much exercise because if they're lugging a bag.
Right, which truthfully, you play better when you walk. I do, but again, when it gets hot out and stuff, a lot of people like to rent carts nowadays. So.
Well, you have an advantage of me. I think I mentioned before we started that my son-in-law is an avid golfer, and he lusts to be able to play in the course. And he's been after me to either put my name in the deed, put his name in the deed so he can do that. And of course, my son is as well, but he lives in Georgia, and of course, he has many more opportunities to play down there than up here. And every once in a while, he says, if you watch really carefully, when somebody's playing Augusta or one of the courses down there, you could see me in the gallery.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, right. So anyway, yeah. So this is how did Cranberry Valley get started?
Cranberry Valley in about 1974 was built, and it was, I believe, a lot of stuff that happened back then. I was very young at that point.
Weren't we all?
Yeah, I was about 6, so I know a lot of the historical things that this land. A lot of it was Jimmy Marceline had a big part of it. Had a big part of the land here and helped the town get it and make it into a golf course back then with the original golf committee that they did way back then, and I don't know that when it was built they ever knew what it was going to become.
Well, you mentioned Jimmy Marceline's name, and God love him. I think he's been behind many of the great things that have happened here in town.
Yep.
He's a great citizen.
He is, yeah.
And great
actually,
guy.
We were actually fortunate over the years to have 2 of his granddaughters work for me here, and they were great too. And but yeah, they did a lot of stuff over the years to make this place be a big draw for people that move in here and tourists that come down here. So. Now,
if a tourist wants to play the course, what does it cost them to play?
In season, July and August, it's $70 walking on a weekend now, and $67 during the week. And then they have to rent. If they rent a cart, it's more.
Okay. When the weekend start on Friday or Saturday?
Yes, Friday for us. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay. So those 3 days it's 70, and the other 3 days, 67.
67, yeah.
Okay, and then if they rent a cart, it's another 18.
Or 20 for
20
a non.
or 20.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. It's a couple bucks cheaper for the residents. So.
Now, you have a pro shop here. What does the pro shop sell?
We sell basically all sorts of golf apparel, clothing.
You mean like you've got on
jackets.
now?
Yeah, a little bit like this. Yeah. We sell golf shoes, golf balls, gloves, hats. We sell a ton of hats over the years. Hats is really good for us, and jackets and things like that.
On the balls, I know that a Acushnet, is down in New Bedford, and I think, what do they make?
Titleist.
Titleist.
Yep.
Do you have any preference or recommendations as far as golf balls?
Yeah, actually, that's the one we sell the most of. The Titleist has always been the #1 selling golf ball for us over here.
A little technical stuff. The Acushnet company had a problem in getting there's a center on the golf ball and then they wrap it.
Yep.
They were having trouble during the wrapping process that the center was distorting. And as you know, if the center distorts, you don't have that sweet spot
Right.
You can hit on the ball. So what they did was, I remember I was consulting with them, and we recommended that they put them in a liquid nitrogen bath to harden them up, and then they wound them, and that way it stayed firm enough. And then when they defrosted, so to speak, they went back to that that soft center. So anyway, just a little bit of trivia there.
Neat.
That's about as much as I know
That's
about
okay.
golf. Yeah. So Titleist is the okay. So how long? And this is a question. How long does it take to play a legitimate 18 holes?
Basically, for us, in the middle of the season, the longest round gets to be about 5 hours. We hope for 4.5 to maintain through the day. The problem is, with as many tee times as we have, it doesn't take a lot for everything to get blocked back up. So 4.5 to 5 hours is ideal, and most of the summer that's pretty much where it stays. Some days you're better, some days you're worse. Again, but we constantly try to keep that up the best we can.
Now you mentioned that you started this morning at 6 a.m.
Yep.
When's the last time you have somebody come out?
Most of the time, right up until almost dark. We have people out there until dark every day.
Now, if you start at, let's say it's at 8 o'clock, let's say 7 o'clock this time of year.
You might get a couple holes in, but usually after 6 we only let the members go out because we wouldn't want to charge anybody because of the darkness at that point of the day. Yeah, so usually about 5:30 would be about the last time we charge somebody to go out.
Of the residents in the town, how many members do you have?
Well, the residents last year, they actually opened up membership also to people from Chatham. When they did the regional school, they allowed people from Chatham.
I remember reading about that.
Yep.
Now, perhaps if Chatham knew about that ahead of time, they might have tried to come in sooner. Because you remember, you've been here long enough to know that this has been going. This was it the regional school district been going back and forth a couple of times.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, but this has been 2 years, so it was before all that really got going. Because we thought it was a good opportunity because Harwich is getting older. The demographics have changed a lot over
Watch it.
Yeah, I know. I know, but it has changed over the last few years. So for us, the membership was getting down a little bit, so we were able to add about a little over 100 people from Chatham, which helped offset the membership. So we have about 900 adult members now.
900,
Yep.
that is both Harwich and Chatham.
Yep.
Okay, so we get about 12,000 people who live in our town. I believe Chatham has about 9 or 10. So out of a population of about 20,000 between the two towns, you still have less than 1,000 people to play golf.
Yep.
Do you think there's more golfers out there that don't know about this?
I think we've been pretty good about advertising it.
Yeah.
So it's still a good deal, but what happens nowadays is it seems more people don't have time for things like they used to.
More's the pity.
Right. So what I think happens a lot of times is people go, well, let's see, if I'm going to play, they try to actually calculate how many times they think they're going to play in a year, and is it worth getting a membership or just paying as they go? And it's very hard to figure out because you never know how much time you're really going to have.
I would look at it this way. If I had a membership, I'd want to use it.
Right.
If I didn't have a membership, maybe it wouldn't make any difference. Now, there's something else we hadn't talked about.
Sure.
And that's the cafe.
Yep.
You run that as well, right?
No, we oversee it. It's actually leased. Company, we put that out to bid every 3 to 5 years, and a company comes in and bids for that. So they do a really good job.
Now, you don't have to be a member to use the cafe, right?
Nope, that's open to the public every day, and it's actually a pretty cool place. Nice little bar in there. They have great food.
As a matter of fact, I think I haven't been here in a couple of years, but you have a great back porch.
Yes.
And it's a really wonderful place to, let's say, to have a cool one, and then look out at the 18th. The 18th green out the back.
Yep.
So it's that you get for a non-golfer, you get the golf experience. At least the 19th hole part that I really enjoy.
Yep.
So we'd encourage people, to actually come in and enjoy that. Actually come in, do that. Check out what what the amenities are here.
Right.
And who knows? It might encourage you to take up the game. Now, when time really goes by pretty quickly, on these things. And at this point, I'd probably ask you if you had any, if you wanted to have a takeaway, for folks to have. What would be the main thing you'd want them to know and, let's say, and appreciate about the Cranberry Valley?
Well, one good thing is what went on here last week. The Mass Golf Association had their state public links championship for the state of Massachusetts here last Tuesday and Wednesday, and it was a tremendous success for them and us. We had a great tournament, and it was a good showcase for us. So people got to see what good things Harwich had to offer, not just as a golf course, but just as a whole community. And the people that left that were, very happy. And some of the write-ups that we got in the Mass Golf Association's website, et cetera, were absolutely phenomenal, and we were very proud of that. And I think what the people need to realize, and a lot of the people that played in that event said to us, is that it's hard to believe this is a municipal golf course.
And that's the one thing that my son-in-law keeps telling me. He says it's hard to believe that in Harwich you have this wonderful course, that it can't be a municipal course, because where he lives in Groton, they have a municipal course, and it's nothing like this.
Right.
Nothing like this at all.
Yeah, because over the years, I've been director of golf a little over 15 years now. That was our whole goal, was to try to make it seem like a private experience at a municipal entity. And it's hard, with all the dealings you've had with politics and things over the years. It can be a little tricky to get all that pulled off, but we think we've done that.
And the other thing that the people should know that live here, this is a significant contributor to the to reducing the tax bill. So we would encourage more people to come out and use it.
Yeah, the
help
more
all
the
of us
merrier.
out. The more the
Yeah.
merrier.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So with that, I want to thank you, Dennis, for
no, it's a pleasure.
Dennis, Director of Golf here at Cranberry Valley, and I want to thank the viewers for for watching another episode of Hands On Harwich.